Good afternoon. Uh, excited to have gotten a win this past weekend. Obviously, the CIC trophy is a tremendous source of pride for us, and I know it's something that all three academies really battle for, and it's just the first step for an opportunity to play for it in December. But I'm proud of our guys, obviously playing with our backup quarterback, and and being able to come out with a victory was really exciting for our players, for our program. I'm so proud of Dwayne Coleman and the job that he did, and the job that our entire team did, really, to support him. Coach Worley called a good game and really gave him things he could handle. And fortunately, in the second half, we were able to run the ball a little more effectively than we did in the first, and able to keep him off the scoreboard in the second half. And that was obviously critical in winning the football game. So we turn our attention now to one of the most explosive offenses in the country. This team is super impressive, scoring a lot of points. They got an outstanding football team, talented, well-coached team that on defense a year ago played Navy, and get a chance to watch them against another option team. They played them really tough, and so we've got some challenges on our hands this week. Obviously, they got 2 weeks to prepare for us, and we've just got this week, and so we're really trying to fight, playing catch up a little bit with North Texas to try to prepare for this game, and we know what a challenge it's going to be. They're one of the best teams in the league, and as I said, just extremely talented. Watch them run, and they're fast and athletic at their skill positions, and big on the offensive line, very active on defense up front. Really impressed with their football team. So, we're back to work on Sunday, and started our preparations for UNT. Yesterday was a day off, as it always is, to help the coaches kind of prepare and game plan, and we'll get into working on that today. So hopefully we'll have a good week of practice and give ourselves a chance on Saturday.
Rich? Jeff, I know the goal is do your job and follow the plan. As the wins have accumulated, how much more challenging is it each week to make sure the team is focused for that next?
I don't really know how to put into words just the temperament of this team. They kind of seem to be unfazed by the victories. As crazy as that sounds, I mean, I think sometimes teams maybe get in this position, and you start seeing, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, and it's almost this pressure that you got to win the next one. And I don't think our guys feel that. I think they really just kind of look to the next game and prepare for the next one. And they know what a challenge this one's going to be. Last week was the hardest game we had played all year. We knew it was going to be. The rivalry, how well the other team knows us, how well prepared they would be for us. And that certainly was the case. It was a close football game. It was a tightly contested football game. And so our guys understand how tough this one's going to be. What a talented football team we're playing. This is the best team we've played so far this year. The most talented team and the best team that we've faced so far this year. It's going to take a tremendous effort on the part of our guys. And I think they understand that and realize that. We've got a fairly mature team. They're able to, I think, kind of put the last game behind us and move on. And it's hard to describe, but they just seem really unfazed.
Jeff, last week's game, and of course not about the specifics, but winning it without Bryson and the performance of Dwayne Coleman. How do moments like that help galvanize a team that is still so close to begin with? How much does that really just continue to bring everyone together?
I think that it helps that Dwayne Coleman, I think, was very prepared to play in the game. He's played a good bit this year. Cody's had him well prepared, and Dwayne's confident in his ability, and our players are confident in his ability. But I think there's just something that happens for a guy when he has to take on the role as a starter for the very first time and goes out there and performs, that just there's a confidence that comes from that only comes from that. And it doesn't matter the position, but our players knew that it was important that we have a great supporting cast around him. We didn't need to put the entire game on him, where other guys weren't performing to the level that they needed to or were capable of, and just put it all on the quarterback to make all the plays. And I think our guys understood that. They worked really, really hard and played really hard to try to help Dwayne. And he was just able to play. He was just able to play within the system. And I'm really proud of him. He didn't try to press or do too much. He made some very poised plays, smart veteran plays, which I was really proud of. So it's good to see him get out there and be able to take the reins and handle it and get a victory. And that's certainly going to help him for the future as well.
Thank you, Coach.
Connor, get us started on Zoom.
Charles, you can start us.
Good afternoon, Coach. Charles Grievous with GoBlackKnights.com. Obviously, the question that is on the minds of the Army fans is the status of quarterback Bryson Daly. Can you please bring us up to date on his availability for Saturday's game against North Texas?
Well, that same question's on my mind, Charles. His health is improving. We anticipate that before the end of the week, he's going to be able to practice, and that will allow us to determine his status for the game on Saturday. So there's a chance, and so I'm optimistic because there's a chance, and we'll just see. And the good news is, obviously, we've got another quarterback that's had a start under his belt and has an important victory under his belt for us. And so if it's Dwayne, then we play with Dwayne. And if Bryson's healthy enough, then we'll play with Bryson. So we're not able to make a call on that right now, but he is improving, and that's positive. I'm glad for him.
Great. And if Bryson is unable to go or even finish the game, you obviously, as you just stated, will go with Dwayne. That being said, who would be next in line if Dwayne happens to go down for any reason?
Cale Helms would be the next quarterback, and then Ethan Washington would be behind Cale.
Okay, and my follow-up and final question, and you mentioned North Texas team. They're ranked third nationally in total offense and are scoring 41 points per game. Their passing offense is averaging about 372 yards per game and ranked second nationally. Can you talk to the challenges that you have to deal with in terms of their offense?
I don't know where to start. I've just been watching their offense for the last 2 hours in my office, and there's want to throw up in my garbage can. I mean, they are so explosive and talented. Certainly number 10 is a special talent. He's the most explosive player that we've faced this year. The Memphis game, he scored on their first 2 offensive plays, first two offensive series, first 2 plays. First play, he runs a jet sweep. They hand it to him. He's lined up in a wide receiver position, and they hand it to him, and he runs by everybody and house calls it. The next play, the second play of the game for them on offense, he runs kind of an intermediate out route, corner route, kind of flattens it out, and Morris throws it in the hole, and he runs by those, makes a guy miss and runs by them all and scores a touchdown. They get 14 points in 2 plays. So he's electrifying, dangerous, and he gets everybody's attention. But there's a whole host of guys, 13 and 9 and 27 and 22, and there are guys at every position that are. I think we lost audio here. anyway. So I'm going to roll on.
Can you pause?
We have you, coach.
You got us?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Okay. I'll roll on. But all those guys, and watching the Memphis game, they kind of throw into all these different guys. 10's making a bunch of plays, and all of a sudden this number 0 shows up. He makes a play right toward the end of the third quarter, and then in the fourth quarter, he's getting a bunch of catches. He makes a really good play on a scramble ad lib touchdown, which put them within a score at the end of the game. They just got guys everywhere. They got tough running backs. They've everybody talks about their passing offense, but if you look at their totals in offense, it's not all passing yards. So they're running the ball effectively. The Morris kid, he pulled a ball down in that Memphis game from about half, midfield, and he house called it. And just had to kind of weave through the defense and ran by a couple of guys. And he's athletic and fast. Gets all the credit for the things he does in the passing game, but he's a really good runner. So, they've got an explosive offense and scare the heck out of you watching them.
Thanks, coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Charles.
We'll go to Seth Mendelson.
Sorry, coach. Let's talk about their defense. As much as their offense is dynamite in North Texas, their defense seems to give up a lot of points sometimes. What's the what do you think the strategy is there? Obviously, score points, but keep their offense off the field is a good defense.
Oh, that's what we try to do all the time, is try to maintain possession of the ball, control the clock on offense, limit the possessions of the other team. Certainly that's part of our strategy for playing defense against a team. But what we do on offense against their defense, it is entirely different from anything they'll see or have seen this year. And so, we're not built like other people. Memphis is scoring points on everybody. Florida Atlantic, we did a great job that day against them on offense. But if you look at what they've done against other people, they've scored points on everybody. Tulane scored a lot of points on everybody they play. They've played Power 5 games, and so when you play Oklahoma, they're going to score some points. They're explosive. They got really good players. So I don't know that the scores against them are indicative of how athletic they are and how physical they are. They're a very good defense. They're well coached, and they've played against this offense before. So we can't compare what other people have done to what we'll do. It's not like we can watch those other teams and say, well, here's what Tulsa did against them that was successful. Let's put that play in. Or here's a pass route, or here's a formation that Oklahoma ran against them that they had some struggles with in this call and this down and distance. Maybe we'll put that in. That's not us. We got a completely different offense. So we prepare differently. They prepare differently from us. And again, all the athletic guys on their team aren't playing offense. They got a bunch of guys that can run and change direction and tackle in space, and they're a good defense. And so we've got to kind of prepare for what we may see against us in terms of option defense. And they've had 2 weeks to prepare. So 2 weeks to prepare means there's more things that they can do and more calls that they can get into, and just it presents way more challenges, in my opinion.
Thank you, coach.
Thanks, Seth.
We'll go to Sal.
Hey, Coach, how are you today?
Well, thank you.
Appreciate it. Just on Bryson, would you consider him questionable for Saturday? How would you gauge his availability in that line?
Oh, I don't know. What do they say? Probable, questionable, doubtful. I don't know. He's somewhere between questionable and probable, probably at this point.
Gotcha. I appreciate that. Tanya Udo, is he becoming the complete back that you guys were hoping for this season?
Oh, I think he's been that back for us. And we got a quarterback that's rushed for over 900 yards, and it's hard to argue with the success that Bryson has had in being our strongest runner. But Kanye Udo is an outstanding running back, and he had some really good games as a freshman. And I anticipated that he was going to be better as a sophomore than he was as a freshman, and I think he is for sure. So uh, Saturday was a really good football game for him. Um, I know we leaned on him a lot, particularly in the second half, and he handled it. Did a really good job of gaining positive yards and some enveloped runs, and made some good runs after he was kind of stopped and bottled up, and broke a couple of tackles. And so that, man, I thought that was really great to see him kind of carry the load for us on Saturday. And we're very confident in his ability to be able to do that.
One more on the safety pairing of Max DiDomenico and Casey Larkin and how that's worked out. I know maybe in the preseason that's not what it was going to be, but now it seems like those two are really playing at a pretty high level.
They're both playing very well, and Casey Larkin just plays his butt off. He plays the game so fast, and just he turns it loose. It's fun to watch him play. We really anticipated early that he may be the nickel, and that Max and perhaps maybe Stephen Adozi or one of the other guys might be the other safety. But when Stephen got hurt in preseason camp, we felt like we needed to move Casey back there, and it's really worked out well. And he's done a good job, and Chance Keith has really done a nice job at the nickel position. So hope they continue to play well enough for us to play good defense.
Appreciate it, Coach. Good luck on Saturday.
Thanks, Sal.
We'll go to Ken.
Hey, Jeff, to follow on Casey Larkin, he had that play, the questionable pass interference, but then comes back with the pick a few plays later. Just talk about what it takes to be able to do something like that.
Oh, that was really a good play. He made a good play on the ball on both of those, and certainly just to respond like he did and come back. He didn't. None of our guys did. They didn't. I did all the complaining for them on the pass interference call, and that's my job. Their job is just to play the next play, and they did. They didn't react. They responded, and I was proud of them for that. They just had a determination and went and played the next couple snaps, and he really did a nice job on that interception, cutting the ball and coming up with a turnover for us.
Hey, Jeff, just on that pass interference call, we've all seen the replays. Isn't football a physical sport? I mean, I'm not saying he crushed him, but he just pretty much kind of tapped him in the shoulder. Do you think that was warranted?
The pass interference call?
Yes, sir.
I'll let you decide on that. You can report that however you want. I'm not at liberty to give my judgment or make opinions on the officials. They got a hard job. I wouldn't want their job. They got to see things in real time, and judgment calls like that, they don't have replay. So, the officials make the call they think is right. And I think they're all trying to do the best job that they can. And sometimes they don't maybe get it exactly right, but sometimes I don't get it exactly right either. So, whatever you saw on the replay and whatever you report on that, that's your prerogative to do so.
Jeff, what was your comfort level with Dwayne working with the first team offensive line and also with Kanye in the backfield? Now that you've seen the review.
Well, he practiced with them all week, and he's taken enough reps with the number one offense throughout the season, be it in practice or in games, that he was prepared, and our guys were prepared for him to be the quarterback, and I think very comfortable with him being in there. Now obviously he and Bryson are different, just in their build and their skill set, the things that each one of them does well. But I think that's that's the job that Cody has, is to really determine, you know, what's in Dwayne's wheelhouse, what can he handle and do well. And I thought Cody did a really good job of giving Dwayne the things that he would be able to be successful at with our offense. Didn't try to put much on him.
Is this kind of similar to a couple of years back when like Tyre was alternating with other quarterbacks that you kind of had to, I don't know, plan your offense based on who was going to be in there?
That there was a year there where we had 3 quarterbacks and they were all really different. Um, and so, yeah, I do. I think there's more than probably any other position that there is a necessity to call the plays and to um, prepare a game plan that fits the guy that you got taking the snap. And our system doesn't change a whole lot. And if you watch this Saturday, there weren't things that we were doing differently. There weren't new plays, and we didn't change pass protections for him. I think probably just maybe leaning on Kanye Udo more than we did. Bryson Daly's like having another B back in there, frankly. So that kind of maybe changes a little bit. But I mean, we still ran called quarterback runs and read plays where he was going to have a chance to carry it. And I thought he did a really good job. He's a good runner. He's a good athlete. So we certainly weren't hesitant to have him carry the ball. And I mentioned on Saturday, I was most impressed with the throw he had to to Casey Reynolds over the middle. He got some pressure in his face. He kind of stepped back and was very poised and delivered the ball into the middle of the field there. And Casey had a nice pickup, and that was in the first half. So, I mean, even early in the game, he was showing that poise, and just there's no hesitation with him at all.
Hey, Jeff, I know in the American, not everybody plays everybody else. There's a number of teams at the top. Do you happen to know, does a win this week clinch a title spot?
I have no idea, and I'm not, frankly, even concerning myself with that. We were just trying to get ourselves to a place on Saturday afternoon that will be best positioned to win. And so this afternoon's practice is really important, and I'll just settle for a good practice this afternoon, and whatever that means, it means. I know winning football games helps everything, so we're just going to try to do that and on Saturday, try to have ourselves ready to do that.
And last question, I know this will probably bother you a little bit, but
Oh, nothing bothers me that you ask, Ken, ever.
you you focus on winning every week. I understand that, okay?
Mhm.
And aside from winning, how do you sell Army? Um, because Boise State seems to be the odds-on favorite right now to grab that group of 5 spot, but a lot of people are making the case for Army. Can you make a case for Army?
Not right now. I mean, they got a great football team. There's a lot of really good football teams right now. And we got a lot of football left to play. And we're getting ready to play our toughest opponent this week. This will be the most challenging game we played all year. It's the most talented team we've played all season, the best team we played all season. And frankly, that's the only game I'm concerned with and the only result that I'm concerned with. And that's being completely frank with you. I like our players. I'm not fazed by what's happened at all this year. Can't be. North Texas isn't spotting us any points. We don't get to play with 11 and they play with 10 because we've won some games. We just got to go play this weekend. And whatever happens, happens. That's out of my control. And I'm not worried about it or lobbying for somebody else's decision. There's people that they are hired and they've they've asked a group of people to make decisions about what happens in the future. That's their job, not mine. So I'm just, I'll let that be what it is.
And
Proud of
last,
our team. I'm proud of our team. Ken, we're 8-0. We've won every game we played this year. So, I'm proud of our team. We can't be better from a record standpoint than we are. And that's all that matters. So hopefully we can get the next one. It'll be as hard to win this game as it's been to win any game since we've been here.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.